understand that, can communicate to any galaxy, anywhere, and anything at any scale. So when you look at a galaxy, you see that the only place that life exists are the perimeter, the outward swirls. Right? That's the area that life can stand at. That's the blending of the dark energy and the galactic solar body energy. And so in the perimeter, that's where you're going to find planets that can sustain life. Earth is the same thing. Therefore, with this understanding, you know that the core of the Earth is like a proton energy, and there's dark energy around the Earth. When they collide, you get what you call the surface of the Earth. That's the neutralizing effect, the interaction of the two energies to create life on Earth. But it's only where it interacts. Therefore, by that knowledge, you can only conclude that the Earth is hollow. And the surface of the Earth is just where those two energies meet. Okay? Same thing with neutrons in an atom then. It is the interaction between the electron consciousness and the proton consciousness. And when they collide and have interference patterns and neutralize each other, then they call them neutrons. They cannot exist in and of themselves. That is just the interaction of the two energies. And you'll go up and up and up from there. And down and down and down. This is what infinity is. If you want to think of it as a graphical analysis, like a sine wave, think of you know what a sine wave is. If you don't, look it up real quick. Imagine the longest wavelength you can imagine. Well, we'll just make it simple for reference. Say it's a mile. All right, a mile long wavelength. And then you just, in order, get shorter and shorter, you know, of existence of possible wavelengths, until the point where you get down to it's really close together, and an inch. Say the line you draw to represent that would be 1 inch thick, and the amplitude would be 5 inches. Meaning how high it goes up and how low it goes down. 2.5 above the neutral point and 2.5 inches below, making 5. The node and antinode. Well, if you bring it close together like that, now it's only an inch apart, then a centimeter apart, then a millimeter apart, then a micrometer apart, a nanometer apart, and your line is an inch thick. It's going to look like what? 1 5-inch thick line. Because it's so close together you can't perceive its separation anymore. Now imagine that starting the longest wavelength ever. One huge 5-inch thick line going up and down, and its amplitude would be 5 feet. Going up and down and up and down, and then getting it closer together, so you have these squiggly lines that are going up and down that start to come closer and closer and closer and closer together until what? It's so close together you can only perceive it as a 5-foot thick line. And then that starts going up and down. Right? 50 feet up and down, up and down. Bring it together, it's pretty soon the wavelength is so short, frequency, in other words, that becomes a 50-foot thick line. That is scalar jumping, the change in scale. And that is infinity. I don't know if I can tell you to verify this. I've never seen this information anywhere in print or video or lecture or anything. This is given to me from that which I'm interacting with. This is what I'm trying to tell you. They tell you that God is, you know, the Bible, and therefore, you know, you have to be stupid to and not question anything and not learn anything. No, the Creator knows all. It creates everything, and it's more than willing to enhance your life and give you knowledge and allow you to maintain individuality. It's what it's all about. You become anything but stupid when you connect to the Creator. I've had light explained to me. Why is it particles and wavelengths? I know why it is. Exactly why it is in my head. There is no explanation out there. Scientists bumble around that. Well, it's either particles or wavelengths depending on how you look at it. No. I know exactly why it is. I'm not going to get into that now. See, the beauty of individuality is, how does the Creator communicate with me? It takes what I know and things that I've encountered in life and then assembles those things together correctly to create a thought that I understand. And if it's information that has no words yet, if it has no, I've had no experience with it, it still puts the knowledge in me, and then I'm directed to see something in life that I can extract a metaphor from to explain what I know. That's how it works. It doesn't change your personality. It doesn't, it has no interest in that type of control. There's only one energy that has interest in that type of control. And that's what we got to get to next. Okay, what is cancer? Well, what is it? People can assess it and, they can say, well, it can be a virus that inserts an oncogene, which is a cancerous gene in there, or a vibration that triggers the turning on of an oncogene. Or, you could sit in ultraviolet light and, or have some sort of damage done, and there are different repair mechanisms of DNA. You have basic repair, but if the damage is too bad, you have what's called gross repair, and he just starts inserting base pairs of DNA, and sometimes it's incorrect. Usually the cell dies, but occasionally a cancer gene is created. Trauma can create cancer. What happens? Well, an oncogene, what is that doing? It's transcribing, as they know, an enzyme that renders the cell immortal and causes it to metastasize and try to take over the body, to grow and grow and grow and grow. The cell has a normal life cycle that it goes through. But cancer violates that with immortality. But that's just what it's doing. It has nothing to do with why. It is only what. Again, structure, math, quantity. If you know a cell is conscious, and DNA is its system of how would you look at DNA? The same way you would look at the components in your body. That's part of it. It's the structure, the brain. My comparison of the DNA, what I contribute a lot of DNA to, would be the liver in the body. The liver has twice the DNA of all the other cells, and it produces over 90% of your blood plasma proteins. It's involved with so much. That would be a scalar jump of DNA to me. The liver. The liver is the most alive organ in the body. The brain is the most dead. The liver can regenerate. Your consciousness is not so much confined to the brain. Only for your five senses in that input, and then other things, thinking and whatnot. But your thoughts occur throughout your entire body, and around your body more specifically. Cancer is an insane energy, but it's not its fault. It is separate from this whole system that I'm talking about, this scalar reality of existence. And it doesn't understand that as it grows, it's going to destroy its own ability to live. So there's only one conclusion you can make, and that's absolute fear. A disconnection somehow from the love, the consciousness, the understanding, the knowing of why it exists, the beauty of its existence and everything. And the consciousness alters the DNA of the cell because it feels isolated, alone, and separate. If you damage a cell and it's trying to resist the death, imagine the fear of how it's played out if a cell is dreaming where it gets damaged by something. And it gets so damaged that it's traumatized.